Hi. Good morning or greetings wherever you are today. So I just got back in from yoga, and this is one of those moments where I had, a thought in the middle of a pose, and I said, this is something worth discussing. So the conversation right now is going to be about relationship and about communication without delving too deep into a book to understand exactly how and how our mind works. Without all that, I'm going to try and summarize it just so that you have something to hold on to, just so that you have something new to try in relationships that makes communication different, something maybe more doable, maybe something a little bit more loving, maybe something a little less judgmental. So here's this. Human beings, we make up stories all the time. We make up stories driving down the block, walking down the block, cleaning the house, doing our work. Everything we're doing, the mind is always creating a scenario. So you have a relationship. You have a relationship with your boss, your lover, your parents, your family. You have relationships all over. And when you first get those relationships, they're good. Feels good. Something pulls you together. Parent and child, something pulls you together as those little infant and grown person. As lovers, something pulls you together in that initial relationship. Friendships, you meet someone, you like them, can I have your number and we'll connect, whatever have you. And you pull yourselves together. Something pulls you together. That something can't really be explained. That's something, lovers call it chemistry, and between parent and child, they call it a bonding. There are so many different types of relationships, and that thing, that spark that pulls you together, that can't really be defined, but it's there and you go with it. The undefinable, you go with it. You don't think so much about it. You don't go to do research about it. You meet someone, the newness of a relationship, and you go for it. Something is there. Hold on to that thought, something. And then the relationship starts to evolve. And something goes wrong, or doesn't feel right, or somebody gets hurt, or there's an anger. And like I said in the beginning of this conversation, the mind is always creating. It's always trying to feel comfortable, so it has to know everything, the mind. Even for us people who are right hemisphere creative people, the left hemisphere is always trying to find reason and fault and or credit. It's trying to make sense. So this side of the mind is trying to make sense even of something that is something that can't be defined, that chemistry, that bond in relationship. So something goes awry and you feel upset. And the reasoning starts. Oh, they must have done, and maybe they did it because, and then there's, maybe in their background there's this, or maybe they don't really feel that way, and so they're coming at me from this way. We start to create these stories instead of just saying, ugh, I feel a little hurt. I got a little thing. And then we go to speak to that person, and we take the left side of our brain with us, that sense-making thing, we take it with us. So we go to speak to that person, we think we're going to have good communication because we're hurt. And we go to speak to that person, and instead of speaking from the heart, the place that's kind of undefined, we speak from the story we made up. You did, and I feel. And we get into that. Ugh. And then that precious moment of attachment, that precious moment of chemistry, that precious moment of bonding that can't be explained, we start to ignore that. That beautiful thing that's so fabulous that we can't explain it. We start to ignore that, and instead we go ahead with this blah, 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 blaming and putting fingers. So here's what I'd like you to consider trying, and you might want to discuss this with your relationships, whatever relationships they are. How about you have that moment and you want to communicate, so you come to the table with, I need to communicate, and all I want you to do is hear me. I don't want you to necessarily agree with me or not agree with me. I don't want to be right. I don't want to be wrong, because that's all judgment. I promise I won't right or wrong you. I promise I won't judge. I'll listen to you. Perhaps if two people could come together and just, my turn or your turn first, and speak all of it. Speak all of it, whatever it is. I feel, I am, I was hurt, I feel angry, whatever it's about. I feel, own it all. And what if the other person just listened without this? Just listened with this. That's all, just listen with this. And then it's their turn to speak, and they speak, and well, you did, and you blah, 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 whatever they have to say. And what happens if you listen, remembering this, that thing that can't be explained, the thing that you trusted in the first place to have this relationship, whatever it is. And so now you've both been heard from a place of heart, not responding to the other person, not being right, not being wrong, just hearing. I find that when we just hear, we find our compassion for the other person. And that means when the other person just hears us, good chance they'll find compassion. And then, without us solving it, without okay, well, this time we'll do yada, 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 without a left side of the brain saying, okay, let's fix the problem, how about you end it there, just where you've been heard from the heart, just where they've been heard from the heart. And then trust in that thing that brought you together in the first place, that chemistry, that bond, that love, that laughter, whatever that relationship started, however it started. Trust that and be heard and be honest. No judgment. What a world would we live in. Peace. So there's my tidbit for this morning after my yoga class and my breath. I wish you breath today. Have a great day.